The film begins in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia, the largest desert in East Asia, where a company has arrived to extract oil. However, their information turns out to be wrong. There is no oil here, after which they decide to leave. A plane is sent to take them back. The plane's pilot is named Frank, and he is accompanied by his co-pilot. All the workers gather their belongings and board the plane, setting off for their city, Beijing. After a short while into their journey, a huge storm begins. Frank's co-pilot suggests that they should land the plane and take off again once the storm subsides, but Frank ignores him, and as a result, they get caught in the storm. They try to make contact using the radio, but are unable to connect. During this time, one of their engines fails, and Frank prepares for an emergency landing. He can't see anything ahead, and just as their plane is about to touch down, the rear end of the plane hits a rock. The back door flies open, and one worker falls out to his death. The plane then skids through the desert sand before coming to a stop. When the plane finally stops, 2 more workers are found dead inside. Now they are stranded in this dangerous desert. They check their food supply and find they have enough for 1 month. One man then suggests that he can walk out of the desert because he has done a lot of hiking and trekking, but the others try to convince him that it's the month of July, the hottest time in the desert, and he won't survive the heat. They also tell him that he doesn't know the way, so he will just keep walking in circles. The man understands this point. That night, as everyone is sleeping, the weather outside turns bad due to the storm. A man named John Davis goes out to urinate. His foot hits a rock, causing him to tumble down into the sand. The storm is so strong that he can't see anything, and he loses his way. When the workers wake up in the morning, they find that one of their companions is missing. They try to look for him everywhere, but he is nowhere to be found. A lady among them goes to the pilot and asks if anyone will come to rescue them. The pilot says he doesn't know, which makes the woman sad because they are completely off course. If anyone tries to find them, they won't be able to. Everyone starts to lose hope that anyone will come to pick them up. 2 people decide to walk out of the desert. When they try to take some water with them, the pilot tells them that no one will take any water. This leads to a fight over the water, which results in their water being spilled. However, there is a man named Elliot among them who says he has an idea that could save them all. He says he's been observing the plane for several days and thinks they can reassemble its parts to build a new plane. Elliot used to work for an aircraft manufacturing company. A spark of hope ignites in everyone, and they agree to help him. The pilot, however, disagrees with Elliot, saying it is impossible. The next day, one man decides to leave the camp on his own. The lady is about to follow him, but the pilot stops her and goes after the man himself. Frank reaches the rock where their plane had crashed. There, he finds the dead body of the man who fell out of the plane. The body is unclothed, and there are some bullet casings lying nearby. Then he finds the man who was trying to leave the camp. The man says he came back to get his watch from the dead man who had borrowed it. But the watch isn't there, which clearly means that someone else is also here besides them. The 2 return to where their companions are. The pilot also agrees to join them in building the plane. They start building the plane, working only at night because of the extreme heat during the day. Their problems escalate when sparks from welding fall onto the fuel they were saving for starting fires and flying the plane, causing a massive explosion. Although no one is killed, all their fuel is wasted. They are left with just enough fuel for one takeoff. Now they work during the day instead of at night. Despite the intense heat, they don't give up and continue working. To rebuild the plane, they need to attach a wing. They have only one chance. If the wing falls, they can't rebuild the plane because they don't have a crane. They slowly lower the wing. Suddenly, the chain holding the wing breaks. The wing skids towards the ground and hits the plane directly. Everyone is stunned. Their friend, who was already inside the plane with the job of attaching the wing to the main body, comes out and says, "I have completed the work." The wing had actually fallen right into the spot where it was supposed to be attached. The structure of the plane is now complete. Everyone is hopeful they can fly out of there. They celebrate, dance, and enjoy themselves. They also clear the desert sand to prepare a runway for the plane's takeoff. But things aren't easy. One day, a dangerous electric storm strikes. Lightning is hitting, and there is fuel in the wing, so everyone runs away. Elliot stays behind, wanting to keep the plane safe. Just as lightning is about to strike him, Frank pulls him down, saving his life. If anything had happened to Elliot, no one else could have completed the plane. They named their plane Phoenix, after a powerful creature from Egyptian mythology that is reborn from the desert. They still have a lot of work left to do on the plane, and their water supply is slowly running out. One night, they spot some tents in the distance. Some people are sleeping there. These people are smugglers who transport weapons through the desert. Frank suggests that they should ask them for water. Elliot disagrees, but Frank and a few companions go to the smugglers. Frank and his friend hide behind a rock so they can attack if anything goes wrong. They have guns. When they ask for water, a smuggler shoots one of their men. Frank and his friend immediately return fire and kill a few smugglers. However, one injured smuggler runs away. Frank has a chance to shoot him but doesn't because he doesn't want to be a killer. James notices a watch on one of the dead smugglers. It's the watch of their friend who died falling from the plane. This means that these are the same smugglers who were here before. They bring the injured smuggler back to their plane. Some people suggest killing him, but Frank refuses. While everyone is arguing, Elliot suddenly shoots the smuggler. This starts an argument between Frank and Elliot. Elliot blames Frank, saying, "You were the pilot. We are stuck here because of you. One of our companions died because of you. I told you not to go there, but you still did." Hearing this, Frank gets angry and delivers a hard punch to Elliot. Elliot becomes upset because his ego is hurt. He says, "I won't build the plane anymore. I've done all the work I was supposed to do. I do the work of 10 men here, and all of you just rest." Kelly approaches him and says, "We can't build this plane without you. We need you." Elliot says he will only start working again if everyone asks him to. Then everyone, even Frank, requests him to continue. Frank says, "You are the boss here. Please complete this work." Elliot agrees. They all work together to finish the plane. One day, they look through binoculars and see that the smuggler who escaped has returned with his friends. But they don't attack because they know that these people now have their own weapons. The smugglers know that their water and food will soon run out, and they will attack when they become weak. They start working even faster. Eventually, their work is complete. Frank finds a magazine that features various airplane models. It turns out that Elliot created the plane's model by looking at these toy models. He used to build small, flying model planes, but had never built a large, real plane. Everyone gets angry, especially Ian. He holds a gun to Elliot's head and says, "You were fooling us. This plane will never fly. You have never built such a big plane before." But Elliot says, "I am sure this plane will fly. Yes, I used to build small, remote-controlled planes, but balance is more important in those." Frank stops Ian. Just then, a storm hits. As strong winds blow, the plane starts to lift slightly into the air by itself. Everyone realizes that this plane can indeed fly. The hope that had died in their hearts is resurrected. But it was a desert storm, which completely buries the plane in sand. After the storm, everyone is sad. Frank says, "We built this with great effort, and we will fly it out of here." They all work together to dig the plane out of the sand and drag it to a place where there is no sand. They try to start the plane. It starts but immediately shuts down. They try many times, and finally, the plane runs. The plane's engine roars. The smugglers hear the sound and start riding towards them on horses with weapons. Everyone climbs onto the plane, hanging onto the wings. The design of this plane does not have space for people to sit inside. They had built a smaller plane from the parts of a large one. The plane races down the runway, and the smugglers fire bullets from behind, but no one is hit. Just as the runway ends, the smugglers think they are done for. But in the next moment, their phoenix flies out of the ditch. Everyone rejoices. Months of hard work have finally paid off. In this way, they escape from the jaws of death in that dangerous desert from which survival was considered impossible. Elliot's picture is published in a magazine with the caption, "NASA's New Hope." If you liked the video, then like it, share it with your friends,